Somebody said to me on the way in, you know, you look much better than last year. Just saying. Glad you didn't do that. I laughed. Because I woke up this morning and thought, okay, so I get to get dressed. And I was thinking that I bet Natalie is happy that I actually decided to wear clothes this year, because how could I, you know, make it different from last year? So yeah, this is what I look like when I got dressed to go to work. Although I did buy something for today. So I used the excuse of the event to shop. So that's one of the things I do. I help people spend money shopping, but that kind of sounds a bit trite or cold, because helping somebody to define who they are is not as easy as it sounds. Actually, that's probably the most challenging part of my work, is to help you define your personal funk, your personal style. The lights are so bright. Could they just turn them down just a I want to be able to see some of these women. Thank you. It's like I needed sunglasses. I was at a wake recently, actually, and you know, I had something planned for today, and I have to tell you, life happens, right? It's really interesting that all the speakers, we didn't get together this year. We didn't talk about a theme. We didn't talk about, you know, like in a big picture. And it's really interesting how when life happens, you think one way and another thing happens. I lost both my parents in the last 10 months, most recently my father. So I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it, even up to last week, because stuff happens. So what you see on the outside is one part of me, but who I am on the inside is a completely... I feel as vulnerable as I did last year without makeup, but you can't tell. Who's lost a parent in the audience? Yeah, it's really weird. And then, so when I got the call, I was in Costco. I love Costco. I was all excited. I'm like, got my cart, you know, gonna fill the cart. Couldn't wait to get to the clothing aisle to see what was new for fall, and was there gonna be any fun sweaters or, you know, anything I really didn't need. I was just gonna, you know, plonk my cart down the aisle. When my sister called me to tell me the news, and I said, I'm in Costco. She goes, and I started crying. And she goes, well, don't cry in Costco. And I said, well, like, we have no parents left. Like, we're orphans. I'm the last of 5. So she goes, I know, but just don't cry in Costco. I'm like, why not? But you know what was interesting? Is I was standing by my cart, by the TV aisle in Canada, and nobody was like noticing what I was doing. How weird is that? I wasn't like, you know, breaking down and, you know, sobbing, but I mean, I was unraveling. When we unravel, it doesn't always happen, it's not always noticeable on the outside. So what I do is help people to feel better on the outside, but what if you're unraveling on the inside? How does that then reflect on the outside? So what I want to talk about really is about a frank conversation about how do you be who you are, and then kind of maintain whatever it is on the outside that you need to maintain without sacrificing any of that. Because one of the things that's extremely important for me is that I help you as a person, not help you shop to make yourself look better or, you know, to make yourself look better for the world. It's about finding the inside you and having that come out. That's really the true transformation. And so I knew that the events of what has happened really have not been because I'm not supposed to do this. But do you ever find yourself in a place where you don't think you can? You know, and I mean, how many of the speakers so far, because I've been able to sit in the audience and enjoy and gain from the courage that it takes to kind of do that and step through and move. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm glad I didn't sit home and have my little pity party. You know, because that's really, you know, you kind of have those stages. And when you're in that pity party, you don't actually want to do things that help yourself. So when my clients come to me, it is often fraught with transition. And when I first started in 95, 96, I really didn't have a full picture of what that meant from a transitional point. What is that? Like, I don't know, job change? Yes, that's one. But what about the biggies? You know, losing a spouse, a decade birthday, the death of a parent, you know, death of loved ones, the change in the job and the career. Okay, well, maybe that's an easy one. But all these transitions provide us with an opportunity to, you know, to look at who we are, and then what are we saying about ourselves? Because, you know, we're good enough. We're good enough. And good enough doesn't mean that it's not enough. Someone once reminded me, good enough is actually up here. Because good enough means that you're actually moving. And you keep moving. So you might be thinking, what does all that have to do with image? Because it affects completely how we then turn and come out into the world. Pain is a motivator to move. And often, interestingly enough, people come to me when they're in very painful situations. I don't naturally invite transition either. That's the very interesting part of my personality. People who know me, I'm a little OC. I like things the way they are. I like to have order, big order. So when it doesn't work out, I don't like it, I freak out. But when my clients come to me and this is all happening, I am so calm. So I know that that's because I'm supposed to keep doing this. You know, purpose. So when I think of some of these people that have come into my life that I'm so grateful for, like 50th birthday, you know, whenever I reference any of these transitional moments, unless I say it's personal, they're client stories, so it's their words that are coming through me. She's a mom, and she lives out of town, and she was using this 50th birthday as kind of a marker, you know, as I'm treating myself. This is finally my time. Too bad she doesn't live in Ottawa, because this would be a perfect place, right? And so for her purpose was very simple. I just want to have a focused plan. So when I got my hands on her, I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to have a focused plan. We're going to have some fun. And so what that meant was helping her to understand a little bit about what she wanted, so what would make the session successful for her, and then ideally what would her life be like in 5 years. So those are questions that I ask my clients on my profile. So it's an intake that they do before we start any work together, so we can have a really good, clear picture and conversation. And then if it strays from there, then I have a means of accountability, because you're the one who said it. You're not dressing for me, you're not dressing for anybody else other than you. So how do you loop back and make that happen? And what was interesting for her is that if you saw her, you wouldn't think anything. Like, I never look at my clients and think, you need me, ever. People who know me, who've worked with me, they know that's not what's important. I always say, well, how do you feel? And so for her, what was important was the plan, and to have more time for herself, and to just have, you know, a gauge of, okay, when I open my closet, like, I just want it to be easy, because she's not fussy about how things have to be. So what was fun was taking her shopping, and in an hour and a half, we had 18 outfits. Like, I love that. Like, you have no idea how fun that is for me. Okay. So all those outfits, and she goes home, and she says to me after, I just have to tell you, I have had unsolicited compliments on what I look like. And she said, for me, what was really empowering to hear is we weren't dressing her from an external piece of validation. It wasn't about what the world thought of her. It was about her doing this for her. And there's two parts, right? Do you sit in the camp of external validation, or do you sit in the camp of knowing who you are and then having the inside come out? And so that was so, so awesome to hear that, because I talked to our lovely young women upstairs this morning. Well, a powerhouse that is. Awesome. Whoever is in the audience who have daughters up there, they're lovely, amazing. They were very engaging. And the interesting thing when I asked them that question was, most of their world is all about external validation. And I would like to be a part of changing that, because that takes, the more we step away from who we are, the less we get to know who we are. Right? I mean, it's like stepping out of yourself and, yeah, I'm over here, but I'm also over here. Well, which one am I? Am I the face that, you see here, or am I the face that you're gonna see tonight when I'm on my couch in my leopard pajamas and my hoodie? Which will be awesome, by the way. But I will take all my makeup off, and you know what? What is nice is I'll still feel like I'm here on this stage, but but I won't be. Right? It doesn't have to be that shift. So for her, going back, she wasn't looking for the validation, but how amazing is it that these subtleties of changes that we made. For clients who've had significant weight loss, they work their off. TV. It's a new medium. They work their butt off, right? That is incredible for me. To work with somebody who, again, the perseverance and sticking with it even when, you don't want to. And then what happens is, then your body looks so different from how you see yourself. Others see you differently because they might not have seen you before. And then what does that do? That provides you with an opportunity to celebrate who you are, what you did, and keep doing it. And that, working with somebody who has a goal and does it and follows through, that inspires me to keep going on those little parts where I might find difficult. You might not see it again on the outside. That is just a window dressing. We cannot consistently perform in a manner which is inconsistent with ourselves. Who's heard that quote before? Yeah. So it's interesting, when I first heard that and Googled it, Zig Ziglar's name came up. But what I have recently found out is that Dr. Joyce Brothers had a part in that, over 25 years ago. And that really is the emphasis of my work, is to really connect you with what you see, but also love it. Love what you see, as opposed to thinking that it should be changed, so the world might think it is better. Why can't women have more of a frank conversation about that as opposed to what is fashionable? So as an image consultant, fashion is really important to the clients that care, to the personalities and the clothing personalities that want to have fashionable clothing in their life. For a large majority of clients, you know what? They just want to be comfortable. Who wants to be comfortable? See, and I wouldn't actually raise my hand about that, because my clothing personality doesn't think about comfort first. It thinks about the way it looks. And if I think back to when that thought first popped into my head for consciousness, that was probably when I was a teenager. When I was talking to the young women upstairs this morning, I asked them, what's important to you in your life? What influences you? Fashion, what people look like, size. I said to them, I'm 20 pounds heavier than my BMI index. They kind of went. I said, yeah, muscle weighs more than fat. I hear Dr. Natalie. Yes. So I have more, I was going to actually say my weight, but then I had a thought that I'm being filmed. Why not? I'm 140 pounds. Kathy Smart wants me down to past 140, so we're working on that. It's a whole other topic. That actually is a topic of transition. Menopause. Dirty word. It's a dirty word. That will also alter how you see yourself. So when I was talking to the girls this morning, what came up again as a poignant piece is change. So whether it's physical, emotional, circumstantial, all those markers or triggers will have an impact on how you either take care, preserve, want to, or look at who you are. And you know, it's interesting, I get that now. So it's not to say that it's an excuse and don't do something. What I'm saying is, if you don't feel good, take a step in the direction that you think you're going to go to get the help that you want to make that change successful. But do it in a way, and I love all the things that have been said today, that's nurturing, that's safe, that is within like-minded people. Because that's sort of going to provide the path for the most success. I remember when the shows first started coming out, you know, What Not to Wear, and you know, all those sensational shows within our industry related. One of the things that bugged me the most was this sort of judgment and trash of, well, what were you thinking? You know, really? Like, and watching it at home, I just felt so like, oh, my skin would crawl. Like, oh, and that's not representative of what somebody in our industry would do. In our industry, it's more, we're trained to say, okay, well, how do you feel? Okay, well, we're going to make sure that the steps are in place, so we empower you to move successfully, not tell you what you did was wrong and what were you thinking. I mean, it's jestful to say, you know, really. And people say to me all the time, you must look, you must, you know, like have a field day with your eyes. What I notice, what is a true statement, people who know me will attest, is I notice what you're giving me. So I get verbal and visual cues as to what may or may not be happening with you. And then I kind of pause and I go, oh, I wonder what that means. Right? Because again, that's my brain going, oh, it gets fired by a visual, and then I'm going, oh, and I don't know what it means. So whatever you want to say, mean to say it. Because I'm getting information, and I'm taking it in, and I don't know if it's accurate. So being really clear and intentional on who we are and the image that we reflect, so that when I meet you, I meet you. I don't meet all this stuff. So I work with, you know, I work with a clothing designer, I work with a jewelry designer who's awesome. All these people are awesome. Eyewear, shopping, makeup, hair, all this sort of visual pleasures of change. But then you're the one that makes it pop. People always go, oh my God, I can't believe this has happened. It's like, well, you're there. It's you. You're the one who's bringing it alive with the colors and the styles, and like it's so funny that it's a big shock. It's like, you're perfect enough. We're just adding things that, you know, that make you come out. That's the most fun about my work, is watching, you know, the face after that, like a couple of things, right? Like clothing, the hair, and then pulling that all together and then going, oh my God. Like, I know, because I could see it, you know, but they can't. So it's providing that bridge. So what I want to push you to do? Are you afraid? No, okay. I want you to look at, what is it about your image? If you want to change it, what would you do? You know, what would essentially take the questions? What would make this session successful for you? And then ideally, what is your life going to be like in 5 years? And then hold yourself accountable to that. Or get on an accountability call. And then let me know. Email me. I would love to hear. Because I also believe that as women, we need to support each other from the purest place, not from a place that's separate from who we are. Do y'all have a plan? Do y'all have something in your head? It starts actually with your closet. So maybe not tonight, but tomorrow, because wine's at 5, right? Really? Like, oh, and that's another thing. So I saw the list, wine at 5. Kathy cut my wine out. She's lucky she's not here. She's like, yeah, you can't have wine right now. So tomorrow, and enjoy your wine, I'll live vicariously through you, go through your closet It's a Sunday. How many of you will do it? One, come on. That's not participatory. 2. Right on. How long did it take you?
It's not very long because I stay on top of it.
Okay, okay, an hour. Okay, who can give me an hour? Come on. If I had Hot 89.9 there, I bet you'd have your hands up, right? How do you know I don't? So I have what, 20 hands? I want to see all of your hands. What if I say, I'm going to go through my closet? Somebody said to me recently, you probably have a lot of clothes. Maybe. Plus this new dress that I got to try and shove in for my fall-winter wardrobe. Okay, so I have some participation. So when you think about your closet, when you're going through it tomorrow, ask yourself those 2 questions. And if you don't love what you're seeing when you pull out of the closet, just get rid of it. Because, remember, you cannot put that garment on if it is inconsistent with who you are. Because you'll put it on and it will feel like scratch paper. And then you're not going to feel good. And one of the things that I'll finish with one of the things that one of the young women said this morning was, she said, you know, when I'm not feeling good, I just put my sweats on, my hoodie, and I put my hood over my head. And like if my mom's going to the grocery store, I'll go with her. But when I wake up and I feel really good, put my skinny jeans on, I put my boots on, I put my shirt on, and I feel awesome. And she's 16 years old. Like, that's what I want you to be thinking about more. So it's on the days when you're not feeling good, put the skinny jeans on, put the, whatever it is that makes you feel good, and see how that shifts. So I'll be thinking about you tomorrow, and I will go through my closet too. Can't say I'll get through it all, but I will endeavor. And it's September 21st, so all the white has to go. So that's a project too. And it's been awesome to be a part of the group today, sitting in the audience, sharing with you. And I'm so grateful that you took time out of your day as busy women to come and spend a day for yourself. So that's what it's all about. Thank you.